working with today.
Oh, Lothar. I mean, it's a fairly similar comp to what we'd seen from OG before, if not identical, I believe.
It's identical.
Yep. So they're coming in with a Killjoy. They got their Omen, and it's surprising. You know, I like to see Brimstone, but on this map, Omen's flash is just so damn powerful.
Oh yeah, it opens up the entire B side. It opens up crucial, let's say, clutch points on A side as well. When you flash Generator, you flash Doorway at the same time, and Heaven. So it's invaluable. Like the paranoia on this map, it just brings way more crucial kills than on other ones. Well, maybe on Split, but in general, Omen, I really like Omen on this map as well, and it's a big map. But in the meantime, wait, this is no push for with that drone, so it's still a very slow approach from OG here.
Look at this shift up towards. That's interesting. So the paranoia just went through, and then you've got the push right afterwards. So never mind the point I was going to make, because I'm thinking OG wanted to shift up control and fight for short. Instead, they actually kind of sold the rotates to them, and they end up running into an easy fight there with the dash from CNED. The Cloud Burst used so they can see them walking through it. AKM falls through the trap, goes down straight away, and this should be a clean-up Oni by trying to pull it all the way back. But a big task on hand. These players are lit up, and even with Sage Heal, you can't get them all the way back up. They've got to wait for that to come back online as well. Oni by in with the third, though, buys a chance for this to maybe go their way. Oni eventually dropped, leaving just one, and on 1 HP, the Classics will deal with Element very easily. That is 1-0, and Raise Your Edge when they get off the starting block first.
Yeah, I think you were caught off guard as I was, right? This was just such an unpredictable round from Raise Your Edge. They just, from OG. It just made those rotations like kinda in a telling way for Raise Your Edge to just execute on that side. They didn't predict what was happening. So a good outplay from Raise Your Edge here, and winning those gunfights was crucial to open the round. But then we have seen them, the overconfidence coming in, pushing against the pistol round. You can still throw that round, and it was almost doable. 2 versus 2. The timer was ticking out, so unfortunately there was no heal from the Sage. And in the meantime here, we have 4 people push on a lobby to get the orb control a little bit as well. So a small win from this eco. They didn't get any kills, but get the map control. Entire B is left out for free control for Raise Your Edge, so they get a free plant. And now we're gonna see a push from OG to get some exit kills, I guess. But it's gonna be tough to do that against Kyle's on the Reyna when he's basically a raid boss here.
Yeah, it's tough to deal with kills at any time, really, considering the fact that he's the Reyna, and we've seen him dominate in some duels before. Although on this map, it is definitely CNED that takes the cake. Playing a Jet, though, you want that to be the case. Right now, though, farming up Eco Frags, Killez, Coldamenta, they've made sure they don't lose too many players. And for Tvik, sitting outside this wall, he's just hoping that someone pushes him and gives him a 1v1 fight, but as he peeks, he sees 3, just like the 3 kills that Killez got. 2-0 before we see the first real round, where we're going to have a full buy from OG.
Yeah, I really like that Starkso wanted to push that wall, but it was Kyle's who got the kill, which is quite unfortunate, because we know that the ultimate from Kyle's is not as important as the ultimate from Coldamenta or from Starkso. So this is why Starkso wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, get those eco kills, which are pretty easy, relatively speaking, let's say, and fuel up his ultimate. But that failed. Kyle's got the kill, but now he can use the ultimate against a full buy with the Spectral, which makes it a little bit more deadly than before.
The door closing very early on this B site. You don't see that too often, but due to the control they've given up on mid, they still have an alarm bot there, but I guess worried about maybe the Omen shadow stepping across or them destroying it and quickly rushing. I like that move. It seems though Raise Your Edge look at this as, hey, one less angle to clear as they push out, right? You know they're not in market shooting out. So now they can take 1-by-1 fights. That's so unlucky. The wall up above as Tvik is falling. He gets damaged down to 31 HP. A recon dart that doesn't land in this universe. It's fallen to the world below. He's tucked underneath the wall though, and there's a nice easy kill to start it. Taken down afterwards, but his teammates trading back. OG, they've lost control of the site, but they've got the man advantage now to attempt to retake it. An ult from Reyna up close, caught in the back, but disappears. AKM can't get anything done, and it's all down to Element. The spray runs out of ammo, classic out, and there we go. Element gets it done. Both players running out of ammunition in their primary weapon, and it's the quick switch to the classic that gets it done. 2-1.
Do you think that Starks actually didn't hit the button and he was just a little bit confused of what's happening? Because he could have draw that pistol faster than Element, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure, but I think I saw him reload. Did I?
Yeah, I'm almost certain that he started a reload animation. I was like, wait, what is happening? And then Element is going out of ammo and he switches it to the pistol and he's faster than Starkso. Maybe we can get a replay later to see if there was a small mechanical mistake that did cost them the round. But it was a crucial one. It's the full buy.
I like this Killjoy setup as well. The Nanoswarm up on top of the window. We saw her just throw it before it starts. And so if they go forward and try to go for that little wall play again, they're in a lot of trouble straight away. That's not an angle you can clear out first. Raise your edge, though. They're not looking for B main control, at least not yet, as a recon drone clears B completely. And I think that should even spot the Reyna in the corner. Indeed, it does. But only one Reyna in the corner. The rest of the team were outside of A.
I really like how OG is approaching this round, very slow and methodical. They have mid control with that Alamo bot set up from Killjoy, so they just completely avoid even getting anyone there. This is why they close the doorway so fast in the round, as you mentioned previously. And what is even more important is that Raise Your Edge, they don't gain anything from this round. Look at this. It's 50 seconds left on the clock. They have no information whatsoever. They have no idea what's going on. No one is pushing their positions. No one is playing for the default for them to get any entry kills. And now they have to check also Wine. They have no idea if someone is hiding there, because that wall, you know, oh, this is the one where he checks it. Yep, he now knows that no one's on Wine. But again, 20 seconds are just falling and falling away, just like that ice from the Sage. Now the smoke will stop the push as well. They have to commit 20 seconds to that execute. Midge, what is going on?
The recon dart's going to hopefully spot some of them or draw their crosshairs away. Tvik taken down straight away on that aggressive push in CNET. He's already on the site with the Vandal in hand, but AKM returning fire. Spike dropped in the open, now retrieved. Starzo tries to make it to the site, deals with AKM, looks for more and catches Element. Now the final player, all they have to worry about, that Nanoswarm not going to stop them, and just enough time to get that through. Rez comes into play. Starzo trying to take the fight and allow that Rez to come all the way. A 3v1. This looked like it was done and dusted. Raise Your Edge on the back foot, but now Onibai's got to do it all with a Guardian. 7 bullets left in the magazine. 3 players to deal with, and he has to take these fights all at once because they're lined up. They're ready with the crossfire, and that's the easiest round in that 3v1 for Raise Your Edge, but getting it back into that position was just nasty.
I'm a little bit flabbergasted. Look at the situation. Starkso with the MVP of the round. Why do we even have a peek from AKM here? Now Plant was going on. They had to play a little bit of time to get, you know, get them offside, and that's it. That peak on Generator was unnecessary and did cost them the round, because then, if I'm not mistaken, Element behind the green boxes on side had to peek again to trade AKM, and he was in a really bad spot because of that. He was being held in a crossfire by both Kyles and Starkso. Awkward round from OG. It looked like they have it in their pocket.
Well, they really did. They did, and they threw that one away. Killless with a double opening. It is just pistols they're against here, but still not how you want to start things off, running into a ranged duel. And it looks like they'll repeat the same thing, allowing him time to get a little bit closer. Maybe waiting all the way. Oh, no, there's the peak. Oh. Okay, well, now you're dead. Vic knows he has to just take the fight. Yeah, the previous round, you know, I feel like for AKM and Element, they both just need a hide. That's all they do. It is as easy as that. There's no time. Once they both swing, they probably kill the spike planter, and it's the round is theirs. But instead, they gave the opportunities away. The Sage then had res for the kills, and it's just a disaster of a round. You get a little bit too comfortable ahead. Raise Your Edge. They're getting comfortable now, looking at their 4th round. More than likely. I mean, I don't see OG doing anything here. They've lost control of the site, and obviously they don't have even Vandals or anything to work with. Maybe they try to play some exits at best.
I wanted to point out a very interesting topic. You know, we have a Reyna nerf / buff some time ago, and it seems like Raise Your Edge still play that Reyna as a lurker as if she was before the nerf, right? She was basically nerfed to an extent where she cannot easily just spam her dismiss or devour after every single kill, right? Because now she only can do that twice unless she's on an ultimate, but she gets the assist even when she deals just 1 damage, right? Then she gets the orb. This is this is an aspect of changing the way the utility works for Reyna to make her more team-based instead of just being solo-based. And because of that, she was a very, very good lurker actually in pro play. And as you can see here, she gets basically an isolated fight and almost every single time. When she wins that, she's on full HP. So it's a little bit awkward that we see Kyle still play that lurker role, but at the same time, there's gonna be a mix-up at some point, I'm guessing, and he's gonna be one of the entry frags together with the Jet player.
Yeah, it's a very important thing now, the change of styles that you'll see. Actually, in this round, Omen's going to be the one lurking towards the A side. Again, because of what you're saying, right? You want your Reyna to be playing around your team. Still one of the first into a fight, but just don't punish her if a teammate is the one to get the kill kind of thing. And what's... I'm guessing a lot of people who are like... Because you could play Reyna if you're a strong individual and make it all the way through. Oh, look, they actually, because they jumped up on top of the wall, I'll interrupt myself, they actually destroyed the nanoswarm because they heard it and they're aware of that position and the tendency. AKM shutting down CNET here. This could be a problem. They've dealt with him, gone for the full heal up because the ultimate's obviously in play, so you're basically back to full health after that. That's not a kind of duel that you want to be taking a 1v1 versus Killaz at the moment. You want to make sure you can trade him, otherwise the damage you do is, well, completely irrelevant. Bone cold. Our man, he's already out of the round. Killaz dealt with by the shock dart. Very nicely done. I thought it was just going to tickle him up, but no, his teammate tagged him too. Just to leave coldamenta.
That's the way you want to play against Reyna, right? Just don't give her a chance to shoot.
It was nice as well because he puts the shock dart through, his teammate took a fight, and then he was there to spam through the wall as well.
10 seconds left.
Really, you've got 3 different lines of three avenues of approach there to dealing damage. Coldamenta, I'm kind of counting him out of this round, but that kill that he got, they actually pop a res because of it. So already, the impact that he's had in this 1 versus 4 is huge to take that ultimate out of the game. Now that turret kind of destroys his chances. He has to take heads-up aim duels, and there's just no way it works. If they don't put the turret down, at least, you know, it's like you can maybe catch the guy that's watching it off guard or take a 1v1, but right there you know, okay, I'm gonna have 4 players running at me all at once. That's GG.
Yeah, it was a tough round. It's still a small win for Razor Edge. I mean, they're winning 2-4 on Ascent. I feel like that's pretty good for them. In general, this map seems to be favoring the defender side a little bit, especially when the teams are playing more, let's say, a free approach. I mean, unless there's G2 and just running over people, but we know how that ended up in the long term. So it's gonna be interesting to watch how OG approaches this map on attack. One thing that I wanted to point out is that I wonder how much of an impact was actually the fact that we have seen the Reyna on side with the rest of the team, and maybe because of that OG didn't expect the lurk from any other player, right?
Quite possibly.
But hey, look at that first blood happening here on defense. That is actually a big thorn in the side because they, as you pointed out, lost the ultimate from Sage last round, and Element cannot really raise their player to have a full 5v5 equalizer in this case.
One thing that was kind of interesting quickly was that over in A, then Omen crossed to the right side and Shadow steps out. It's something that you don't think too much about, but players know that that's a possibility. But sometimes you'll have the fake shadow step, right? Because they'll still hear the sound cue and you stay there lurking. And that's why I think OG, rather than commit utility towards something that probably isn't relevant, they just go back and play sight, combined with the fact that they're getting kills elsewhere. But at ultimate going through, trying to deny the res, it catches 1 tag but no kill, and then a bit of information denied as he can't see the Sova already crossed his sight. This could be a problem as the Sova now lurks out towards the B site and can walk up those steps any moment now. Of course, the door is closed though. Yeah, they keep closing the door, isolating AKM, but meaning he can't be backstabbed. And the only impact for Sova now is to wait and catch them as they rotate all the way through spawn, but he gives away his position. Oh, that's just fruitless, especially when he heard the turret be recalled. That's when you know you can backstab them. But instead he shoots, and that just completely ruins his chances of having high impact, although at least he takes down Vic on the cross back over.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts that he actually got that kill in the mid, because we should know OG should know that that guy was gonna peek from B-Link. But in the meantime, defenders are pulling off the lockdown, pushing out the players, but there's no nanoswarm to follow it up. As you can see, the players were aiming at the bottom of that floor to destroy those nanoswarms before, but now half defuse being already done, but it's not good enough. 1 versus 3. He was just being outnumbered and impossible to win that round.
Yeah, I find it odd that the not odd, but worth comment. AKM went for a dash in to try and destroy the lockdown as well, and the rest of the team had already ran back to safety. So I think the idea there being that obviously he can catch them off guard on timing alone, but they had heard the steps away. So you think, okay, they're definitely going to play passive. AKM dashes in, maybe destroys it and buys you that extra time, maybe gets a kill as well, but in the end it didn't work out for him. So he just removed himself from the situation, but his teammates played it really well. And once you've got those good fundamentals, you can afford to take those kind of risks.
Now there's a 5 people march towards A, but they're being stopped by the wall and the other pieces of the utility that OG has in their disposal. And because of that, they actually lost control of B. They have no idea what's going on. This is why Sova is using his drone to check out mid if someone was crossing already B. In the meantime, Jet is trying to retain that garage control. She's gonna have to check meticulously every single angle that she is following up with the rest of the team. And now we're gonna see, there we go, there's the execute on B. 3 players pushing, 2 guys behind them. Very, very long time for the rotation to happen. But the side is clear. There's no one here. OG just kept 5 people on A.
Sold by the early fake that had gone through, wanting to take the gamble, roll the dice, but this time, snake eyes. I still didn't learn if that's good or bad. I'm pretty sure it's bad. I've never played that game before. I played the one with the cup. What's it? Yahtzee. I've played Yahtzee. That's good fun. But anyways, Bone Cold. Bone Cold. He's in trouble. Sheriff's coming around, but it looks like he's getting rid of Law and Order. Down they go. Killaz comes out to finish the final 2, stealing the ace, and you can see Bone Cold ain't too happy about it. That's a nicely done 6-2.
By the way, Scene is at 2-7 stats, and you don't feel like currently Raise Your Edge is hurting because of that.
Yeah.
That is a good promise for this entire map, since if you don't need CNET to frag out, that means your team is working well.
See, he's on 2-7, dashing in, taking opening duels, and also like trying to throw himself at things like Killjoy. I get why, like, on the B side, he's being the first out a lot of the time and then being isolated by utility. There's also the fact that, you know, in the rounds where he's not dying from playing those entry positions, Killaz is just destroying them. It's like, there's only so many kills to go around, you know? CNED's like, hey, leave some for me. And even there, you see Killaz stealing the final 2. I mean, obviously, he's helping his teammates, all jokes, but he's hungry, man. He's looking good. I mean, we mentioned the Reyna and how typically he'd be playing along the level of Starzo on that kind of second duelist. That Starzo is playing the Sage as well, competing for that spot a lot of times. But this time, Killaz is definitely, he's taking the crown. He's taking the lead. Dominating.
I'm actually very happy to see Sinet in a kind of a new position, a comfortable one for him, right? Because he was always just trying to play with the operator, but those games here right now that we're witnessing is him changing that. He's getting out of the comfort zone, right? He's a more of an entry fragger. That's fantastic to see because Reyna needs to follow it up, and that's where she shines. So he's actually playing for his teammates. Awesome to see that evolution of a player.
And I guarantee when he goes to the defensive side, this guy's going to turn up. Yeah, he's just going to start wrecking people. But for now, on attack, you know, that same kind of role as you're saying, you know, playing with that operator, it's not that viable. That was a risk that I don't think was worth taking. Paranoia through. If it goes from hell and a teammate jumps up, sure enough, but it's a bit weird to do it in that situation. Back down to a 2 versus 1 at this point. Starzo has taken down Element to leave Unko by himself. He goes out to try and get that defused, but not a chance. Killaz shoots him in the head through the smoke. Nice and clean with the 1 tap. 7-2 we go. This is looking pretty convincing for Raise Your Edge at the moment.
Alright, well, this is pretty interesting. I wasn't predicting this to be such a one-sided match, at least so far, right? Especially in attack. I wonder what OG is talking between each other in the comps, because they need to switch something up. It's definitely not working right now, and They still seem to be doing the same exact setup as before. When they are on a half buy, they play an aggressive A push. They set up a one-way, got the positioning in for that wall with two sides being taken over with the defenses, which is typically the Omen and the Sage. But in the meantime, Raise Your Edge is doing something that we didn't see before. They're taking mid control. They're going out with that aggressive smoke. They were just waiting in it. Bone Cold and Sova are trying to get B control. Never mind. Cena just dies first, even without going on site. So that was a plan, but they failed to execute it pretty fast, and now they have to be figuring out something else. Like, we couldn't go from it. We couldn't go back. Now we have to go back to market, but that kill on AKM is gonna put a big thorn inside of the defenses.
Well, AKM's back up, minus his ultimate at this point. Bone Cold rushing to site. He's going for the reload, but his teammates clean up the kills. Now a 3v3. Problem is, AKM, he's only got a classic. Dude had his ultimate, but now he doesn't. Having used up all the knives before he died. And now, oh, okay, he's getting kills with a classic, so he doesn't give a damn. Fair enough, right click up close, it's dangerous. And even if he doesn't get the kill, he goes over to the Vandal, the spams doing damage. The 2 versus 2 that's in it, and there we go, it's out of it. Unco with the double, quick as you like. 3 rounds for OG, and you know what? If they can push this up to 5, they're in a really good spot. Hell, even the 4 rounds, because Raise Your Edge, their comp is based around a lot of aggression. And I think OG, they've shown that they're a team that's comfortable taking map control, but also comfortable holding it. And on the defensive side, or on the attacking side rather, I think if they just hold down that map control, Raise Your Edge are gonna run right into their hands, at least at the start.
You were saying about that classic, he actually won the round because of that. He gets that headshot body shot on his entry from the smoke and opens up the retake. That was a crucial kill of that round. I know that, you know, Unco gets the double kill on site, but that was because AKM did get the kill on the pavement and then followed up with a wallbang through the boathouse, which puts the Sage on, like, I think 2 HP or something like that. So that was actually very crucial res that worked out. It wasn't likely to happen, but it happened. What I find odd a little bit is just I'm trying to read into the movement from Raise Your Edge when they try to attack, and I cannot find a concise plan. The previous run was very chaotic. There was like a plan, but they waited out too long, so they sold out their positioning because OG did get a lot of info by just taking map control. Methodically, they're just moving forward and forward and forward, which eliminates the positions from the attackers, and they know what's going on, right? And then they just dive because AKM just jumps over the wall and gets headshotted, but that's unfortunate. And in general, I feel like OG will have an easier time playing on attack because they know Raise Your Edge will have to play attack on defense because of the composition. So it's gonna be an interesting match. We'll see how OG approaches that on the second half, but we still have 2 full buy rounds ahead of us. And again, it's very slow approach.
Cena this time showing us what he can do when he's opening up sites. He dashed in, he picked up a double, and with that, Raise Your Edge have got the advantages. There's a res in play, but it's for the attackers, and they're on their way over to res up right now on the B side. A double flank then can come through. This is going to be pretty tough. You know, the door goes down to buy a little bit of extra time, but really, if you're OG, you're worried that there's a ticking time bomb of those players coming up behind you. You've got to take fights, and there's just no way that they're going to go their way, because Killez is here to take heads as Starzo finishes it off. Well, technically not flawless round, because they did lose a player, but they res back up, so in a way, it's flawless.
I don't really like the res, though, and I'll tell you why. That gives a huge cue for the opponents to start the retake. You know that there are 2 players currently in Garage B, and I felt OG didn't just collapse on that tell, because that tells them there are 3 people on site, only 3, and we are 3 as well. So it's equal footing. We should push now before the 2 guys going behind us, you know, will take control as well. So they had a very short opportunity to actually bring that round back, but they didn't capitalize on it.
Deploying drone.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of confused about. You know, I'm saying the whole time, like, oh, they've got a time clock. You know, that flank is on the way, the double flank, and they're just kind of chilling, waiting, see what happens next. And obviously, That's playing into the hands of their opponents. Nice paranoia, completely blinded up the Jet on backside. AKM, Vic, Unco, Element, that's almost the whole team. There's only one left and only one round left, so obviously that ultimate comes into play. It gets popped out only by hoping to force them back, but they're going to push it down. They're going to destroy that lockdown. He gets a kill for his trouble, but the time is so low now as he swings on out. Killaz is waiting for him, and he kills him. That ends it out, and 9 rounds on the board. I said that Raise Your Edge's comp is very much attacker-based, but I still think 9 rounds is a few too many to give over to your opponents.
I agree, but let's see if I can predict something, okay? On the pistol round, we're gonna see both Jet and Reyna push out A long. They're gonna try to control that. Never mind. The Jet is on B. The Jet is on B, but we can maybe still see it with the Recon Arrow Paranoia move, and then Reyna just pushes out. I'm interested, because if I were OG, I would wait and be patient in those rounds. They know that the opponents are lacking Cypher, lacking Killjoy. They don't have to worry about destroying the utility, so they can get map control just by being a little bit more patient, getting some kills in the mid that opens up the entire site. So it's a very tough game plan for Raise Your Edge to execute if they're not getting map control by utility.
That's why I love you, Lothar. You're happy to take risks. I'm gonna place a bet these players are gonna push. They're on the other side of the map. I love it. But no, it would have been a strat. It would have been beautiful if it worked out. What is kind of surprising though is because we're talking constantly about how this comp is a very aggressive one. They're playing the opposite. They're playing super passive and actually set up a crossfire on site. Bone Cold goes down, but Killaz is here, ready to take heads. Element though, he's showing up at last. This guy was an absolutely insane player for Raise Your Edge. Or sorry, for OG in the past. Over on Icebox especially, the dude averages like 30 kills. Right here, he's alone. He's got to ace out the pistol. A 1 versus 2. He doesn't stick the spike plant, and that causes more problems now as the wall is wide open. He tries to bait them into a fight, but no one's stepping forward. The timing might have worked against him, but he's just trying to find an opening, an angle to catch one of these players off. They know exactly the game that he's playing, and instead they're holding back, waiting for his peak, for his aggression. The glass broken. Element now confident there's no one in heaven. He has the info he needs, but they're rushing forward. They're trying to fake him out. He's gotten it planted, but they know he's underneath. They've seen him and now completely spotted him. They saw he couldn't have walked anywhere else. Easy kill, but no second, or fifth, I should say. CNED shuts it down and puts double digits on the board for Raise Your Edge.
You could hear me like take some deep breath, right? Because whenever I see a player planting out the bomb with the knife out, I just can't comprehend how that can happen. Because if he would have been pushed instantly after the bomb being planted, after the spike being planted, he has to switch to his pistol round manually, and that leaves him with the full equip time, 750 seconds on the Ghost. If he does that while having the Ghost equipped, then it's being halved to 375. So it's a huge difference to take that fight, especially when you're 1v2. And let's be honest, they had a 2v2 pre-planned. They could have play together, not peek anything, get that plan first, play that 2v2 retake against them, but they took the risk that was unnecessary, and they lost the round because of that. It's 3-10 for Raise Your Edge. They're destroying OG right now.
Yeah, Raise Your Edge looking about as clean as can be. You know, when you look at OG stats in this map, it's not one you expect them to dominate on, but I expected a better performance than this. The hiccup versus Heretics was one thing, but now they're looking lost. CNED on the backside, shredding what was an attempt at a force buy, and OG now left in dire straits. Their money is gone. They're on just above 2k on every player, and they're facing off against what could be map point if they concede this one. I think you kind of have to take an eco here, Lothar, but I'm not too sure if they're going to go for it. And well,
can they afford? I don't think they can afford it. You have to play for a win, right? Otherwise, there's a saying: if you don't play for the win, you play for the lose. And it would be a lose-lose situation, because they're going to be on a match point if they allow the opponents to take this next one. So they have to try to brute force their way into winning the map in normal, regulated time. And if they don't do that, they have to play overtime. That's just ridiculous. So it's going to be a tough task ahead of them. And I would love to hear if this is a faster game than G2 versus Diffuse.
Look at Raise Your Edge. They've just pushed all the way down middle. There's 2 players here ready to take long-range fights, and OG are in trouble. B now pushed out as well. They've reacted perfectly to the information they got about Raise Your Edge being outside of the A site. They're worried about another player in the corner, but it's over towards the B site they should be concerned about. The push coming out is short, a little bit hectic. Down goes the Nano Swarm, only by buying space for that res to come through, but CNED doesn't want it. He doesn't like it, and he's trying to take the fight. A shock dart tickles up Vic, a flank from Bone Cold, and he's only good for the 1. It's down to the 1v2, all up to 1 player on Raise Your Edge. Coldamenta deals with the first, no idea on the second, but this player is super low. He suspects he's down below and now confirms it as you can't see him above, but around the side of the wall he comes, and Coldamenta takes it with a 3K. It is 12-3, and OG are now facing map point, whether they like it or not, and the difference is they can't get a full buy up here either. And Lothar, you know, a quick point I want to make is that the difference between Counter-Strike and Valorant. So my Counter-Strike brain was like, no, they have to eco, right? Play the full buy and believe that they can make the comeback. And if this was Counter-Strike, I would agree with that line of thought I've just put out there. However, I agree with you. You have to take the force buy. And the simple reason for that is if you try to go along that, right? Ultimates. Yep. Your opponent's going to save all 5 of their ultimates, use them up. You lose that round. It's pretty much gone. So you're screwed.
I agree, even though their opponents have not really that impactful ultimates in form of Jet and Reyna, right? But if they just use in tandem the res from Sage and the Sova ult, it's gonna be a disaster of a round. If executed properly, of course. But it's a very good point when you consider the comparison to the other tactical FPS game that is so similar to Valorant, or the other way around. Valorant is so similar too. What I wanted to point out in the previous round, though, OG was caught between a rock and a hard place. Like, it was such a tough situation to be in because they had to rotate back from A. They were pinched, moved, basically like crunched, like in between the forces of the opponents. They couldn't react properly to it, and it was almost they did because they had better hardware, but it was tough. And now look at that, Killis is just getting a double kill because they played aggressively, something that we said they're gonna do. It was just on the round 3 when they can take more risk, but hey, AKM showing up with that big burst from the Bulldog. Now, is that a fake? Is it not a fake? AKM with the double kill, 2 versus 2, but now the 2 ultimates will gonna pay dividend for Raise Your Edge. They can use them for free basically on B side. There's the Recon Arrow that will tell this Sage if she can go for the res or not, but now Coldamenta is separated. He wins the fight 1 versus 3 for Raise Your Edge. This is gonna be easy. Oh, you missed it!
So that's a bit of a whiff, though. Buys some time now for Vic to reposition a 1v3. You know, it started out well. Raise Your Edge, they push A long, but then they push B. When they've got the info A long is clear. That doesn't sit right with me. Now, though, with Vic having to win out this 1v3, the op is perfect to take the first fight, but he misses the shot. Down to 25 health. All they have to do is swing him, hit him with a shock dart, or hit him in the body. CNED does that. 12 turns into 13, and the map goes to Raise Your Edge. This is a bit of a shaky start from OG in the series, we'll put it that way. And I gotta say, Lothar, at this point, let me just double check. This was Raise Your Edge's pick. So at least